Hello, it's been a long time, it's been another year, but this is my fourth and final update, I think, for my progress with Japanese and M.I.A, which, I mean, I'm just doing immersion learning at this point. It's just, I understand the basic techniques that you need to follow, the basic tenets. But yeah, so I've done 2 years now, 2 years and 10 days, and I've got to say, I haven't really done as much listening or reading in the last year as I did in the year before. I've made less and less progress progressively over the past year because I'm in my final year of university. So things have ramped up again. I got my final year project and everything. So yeah, and I also am now a father. I now have a child, so I've got to look after her as well, my little one. So yeah, it's been quite a ride. It's weird because I just watched my 1 year update, the 12 months update, just a moment ago, and it's been ages since I've been in that building, but oh my god, time just flies. But yeah, I've grown a moustache, changed a lot, got this lovely jumper here, very colourful. But yeah, life's going alright apart from that. I currently have about 800 to 850 hours of listening in, which compared to that, according to that update, I had 600. So it's only been like another 200 in the last year, which is crazy. It's less than an hour a day. But with the last few months leading up to my child being born, I really didn't get much in. So yeah, but the thing is, I've kind of made enough progress now with listening as a skill that if I leave it for like a week, I don't really lose much because the words that I've heard, I know like most of the very common words, like 5,000, 6,000 words, very well. So, you know, I'm approaching fluency now. I've spent my time watching and listening to streamers and stuff like that, a lot of YouTube videos, less anime, just because I want to hear more raw, just unfiltered Japanese that's just off the cuff, more standard. Hiroyuki is probably my favourite streamer. He's very good. I had a really great experience the other day, actually, when I was listening to him and he was explaining the Monty Hall problem and I understood like all of it, and then he was talking about how he kept getting comments saying, I don't get it. But because I remember learning about that a long time ago, and I didn't realise what he was talking about, and then I was like, wait, is he describing the Monty Hall problem? And the fact that I figured it out and was relearning the explanations, but in Japanese, it was a really fun experience. It was really good. It was a really great experience. But yeah, listening's going really well. I understand streamers, YouTubers, the news very well now. I don't really have to use the dictionary that much. There's still lots of words I don't know because there's always, there's still thousands of words that come up I don't know. But that's normal. There's a lot of adverbs. Adverbs are really, really painful because they're not really that. They don't get tied to a lot of meaning, so they don't mean a lot. They take a long time for them to really sink in. I could look them up, but it just doesn't feel worth it sometimes to look them up. So yeah, I don't often do that. But that's gone really well. I've done that. Yeah. Reading. Sorry about that. Reading is it's going pretty well. I finished that. I've only currently finished one novel because reading a whole novel is still quite hard. But I read all of the crime novel, which I realise is not a novel. It's actually a non-fiction book. The one about it was basically a bunch of records of people's experiences on death row. So yeah, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a very fun book, and it's very hard to read. I wouldn't really recommend it that much, but maybe I'll like it more if I reread it in a couple of years. But I've started reading a famous one for language learners, Norwegian Wood, and that's been a lot of fun. I really do like that. It's a simple romance story, but it's much easier to read, and I do understand most of it, to be fair. It's very easy to read that one. But articles have become really easy to read, like ungodly easy. And but listening to them is still harder, so I don't really read them. I just spend time listening to them if I'm going to read an article. But obviously that book is a lot of fun. But yeah, for listening, it's mostly streamers now because now that I can understand Hiroyuki and like he's in like a debate videos on YouTube, which are fun to listen to. I'm doing really well. I'm really happy with my progress, despite really like I only got. This really proves how amazing it is because I only got about 250 hours in the last year of listening. Recorded like active listening. So, from what I've achieved in 250 hours, because I've reached the ease point, and now I'm going into the there's a certain point, of course, where learning more stuff becomes easy because you've done most of the tough work. The foundation is there, so learning more is easy. And I've gotten past that point, and in 250 hours, I've achieved so much more than I did in the first 600, which is incredible. So if you do another 600 hours instead of me just doing 250, you could achieve way more if you kept up. It's weird. I've thought the hypothetical about like what would I be? How good would I be now if I was 2 years in and I'd done 300 hours every 3 months, which I did in the first 3? Yeah, it's crazy to think, but I have done, even with just those few hours, I've achieved a lot from just listening, and a bit of reading. I've probably done 10% the amount of reading, but reading is still sped up, so it just catches up to my listening so quickly that I never really want to do too much of it. But other than that, it's going well. I can read. Kanji never pose a problem anymore. I don't read enough books to see enough new ones, but when I do see a new one, of course, it's instantaneous. I just recognise it and it gets logged. But that was true of the last update. It's only been a year, but it hasn't changed. I don't know how many years it would take if I just were to cut out Japanese for me not to be able to read kanji. I think that's locked in now. Kind of late for that. But yeah, I haven't spent as much time. I can't spend as much time because when I finish uni, I'm going to be focusing on keeping my daughter happy, my family happy. But yeah, it's been going really well. I'm really happy with my progress, and to anyone out there who still wants to learn a language but still doesn't feel like they can do it or aren't intelligent, it's nothing to do with that. It's just a matter of time and putting in the effort, and anyone can achieve it. And I can now watch and listen to streamers on YouTube and pretty much have no problem, which is very satisfying. And as long as you can get over the first hurdle, the first 600 hours, the first 300 to 600 hours where you can't really hear the language that well, if you can do that, you can make it as far as you want. I still haven't, another thing to mention, I still haven't picked up pitch accent or learned pitch accent, which I'm going to do probably quite soon now, because I really need to start being able to hear it and train my ears to hear it, because I still can't hear it. So that's going to be a fun experience, but I might log my experience with that if I want to. But I'm not too bothered about making updates. It's just for fun to log my memories of how this has been. Yeah. As for looking at words, I look up words whenever I feel like it. I don't really try and make it like a mission to look up every single word, just whenever I feel. Like if I've heard a word a few times, then I'll look it up. But yeah, I'm doing really well. Yeah, there isn't much more to say. I'm not going to try and start speaking yet because there's no point speaking unless I need to, and I don't need to. So I plan to go and holiday in Japan sometime in the future when I'm better, and then I can take my family to all the nice places that aren't tourist traps. Because I'll be the only one that can speak it, so it'll be fun to lead them around. Yeah, so that's cool. Thank you so much for watching this journey and coming along with me for these few updates. It's been wild. My life has changed way too much, way more than it ever should have in just these updates. But yeah, it's gone really well. I've gotten about 850 hours of listening in, probably more, probably about 900, closer to. And I've started to stop logging it because I'm just not as interested in logging it now. I just want to enjoy Japanese. But it's going really well. And yeah, I've done about 50 to 100 hours reading, which isn't a lot, but it's been going really well. So yeah, if you ever are interested, just try immersion if you can. Try something easy, a slice of life anime if you like Japanese or whatever language you want to learn. It really works, and it is a fascinating thing to if you can get into that mindset of a child. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and have a good day, guys.